Good morning. I'm First Warn 5 Meteorologist Mike Nicco. How is your Friday? How about some good news? We dodged the really big, strong storm last night as it moved to our south. That's why we're waking up this morning to much drier weather. We were able to drop the first warn. However, after a pleasant day today, a first warn for tomorrow, definitely going to impact our plants. So let's jump right into the forecast, and we'll start by taking a look at our headlines. Here we go. Friday, that new information, just some light showers this morning, isolated 20% this afternoon, and with temperatures in the mid 70s, oh, it's going to be a great day to be outside. All right, let's move on and talk a little bit about tomorrow. Yeah, that's our first warn, but it's the only one in the 7-day forecast. Stronger storms, borderline low wind, severe weather, heavy rain going to be more widespread than possibly any severe weather that we deal with. And of course, one last chance in the Security Bank 7-day forecast for scattered showers, and it's Sunday. After Sunday, there's nothing in the forecast again until next Thursday. But don't let those afternoon showers keep you from doing anything. Sunday is definitely not a game changer. Saturday morning, yeah, that is a game changer. So let's talk about today, and then we'll move through the rest of the forecast. So round one is out there right now. It is mainly south of 70, and it is getting lighter by the moment. In fact, by 10 o'clock, we'll probably take that 30-40% chance down, and there's that 2% chance, or round two, that 20% chance for the afternoon. I would like to say there's a 0% chance, but there's enough humidity in the atmosphere, and with a little bit of sunshine today, there's nothing stopping a shower from forming. Here's a look at the past hour or so, and that stuff around Bonner Springs, you notice it's not really moving, so that's probably not rain. There's a few showers around Harrisonville, possibly heading out towards Richmond, Excelsior Springs. But as we broaden out, you can see the storm track definitely well down to our south. Oklahoma and Arkansas dealing with just some nasty weather this morning, and we're on the top edge of that, and that's why we're seeing those light showers. Heading out right now, let's get you ready for that. Temperatures in the mid-60s. And we're going to warm about 10 degrees today. But you can see on the satellite and radar, as you look back towards Lincoln, there's a little bit of clearing, but there's also that other batch of energy out there near Salina. And that's the one that's going to come through today, and it could trigger that 20%. By far, though, the biggest storm down to our south and moving away from us. So let's talk about how we're setting up today. We've got an east-northeast wind. That's bringing in a little bit of dry air, trying to undercut a layer of moist air. It's eventually going to lose out. And that's why we have that chance of a 20% chance of a shower this afternoon. 65 out there right now, and it feels like it. A little sticky, though, or a little frizzy, if you will. Humidity is about 81%. All right, so your next 5 hours, which will take us right through lunch, 68, 30% chance, barely holding on at 9 o'clock and 10 o'clock. And then we hit the 70s. Not a lot of sunshine, but enough that you'll want to have the sunglasses from time to time today. Now, our rain chances, you can see, taper down to 20% chance after 9 o'clock, 11 o'clock, all the way through the evening. So let's kind of break down what's going to happen this afternoon. We'll keep that 20% chance in there. I don't like using 20 very often, but can't say it's going to be 0, so that's why it's in there. Now, our average high this time of year is about 82, and we're going to be sitting around 75 or 76. And soak that in, not only in the afternoon hours, but as we head also into the evening hours, we're going to have temperatures that are going to be pretty comfortable in the low to mid 70s. Kind of jumped ahead to the 7-day there. Let me back this up just a little bit, and let's go back to our afternoon forecast. There you go. That 76. Man, that's going to feel so nice. It's just like with a little bit of sunshine out there, warm enough that you can go to the pool, but not too warm that you actually have to get in the water, which could be still kind of chilly if your pool isn't heated. So Friday evening, see the green? See how splotchy it is? That's how small of a chance of severe of storms we have. So walk you through that. Nothing really to worry about. In fact, let's look at the evening patio forecast. Low to mid 70s. Yeah, it's going to be great. All right, severe risk for Saturday. All hazards are on the table, but again, this is a low end. There may be 1 or 2, 3 storms that perk up and become aggressive with 60-mile-per-hour winds, 1 inch or slightly bigger hail. Can't rule out a tornado. It's not the best setup for it. A little better chance of severe weather as you head down towards Butler, Warrensburg, and Sedalia. That's new for this morning. You're under a 2 now, so a little bit better chance of the storms being stronger as they roll through your neighborhoods. So let's talk about what tomorrow will bring. It's a first warn. 60% chance of those strong storms, and that round will come through around 7 a.m. to 1 p.m. Again, it's just a 1 out of 5 on that severe risk. And I am a little concerned with the rainfall amounts. If we do receive as much as the models are saying, we could have some localized ponding on the roadways. But right now, excessive rainfall and flooding, 5 to 10% at best. Nothing like we saw earlier this week. All right, so Saturday morning's painted, just washed in red with that first warn. 63 at 7 o'clock to 71 at 11 o'clock. But the important part is if you have plans Saturday morning, this could be a game changer, especially outside, because even if it's not the strongest of storms, there's going to be a ton of lightning out of these storms, and that'll make you want to rush in and take cover. Remember the 30-30 rule. Stay inside until at least 30 minutes after you hear that last clap of thunder or see that last bolt of lightning. All right, let's walk you through Saturday. Storms, they develop between 5 and 7. They're scattered, but watch what happens now between 7, 8, 9, 10. Wow, they get rather aggressive, don't they? And they are on Interstate 35 all the way up to Kansas City, even possibly up to Bethany. But look at that next extension out Highway 70 all the way out to Marshall. And these will continue to slide off. But the whole day is not a washout, just the morning hours. Get into the afternoon, unless you're across northern Missouri, you're going to see a little bit of sunshine. And again, temperatures are going to stay relatively mild. There's a slight chance of a shower in the afternoon and evening. I wouldn't even worry about it. Here's the look at the rainfall totals. And if you're looking at that I-70 Missouri River corridor, it really jumps out at you, doesn't it? The inch to 2 inches to possibly even 3 inches in Odessa and Marshall. And I wouldn't take that as gospel, if you will, or as 100% accurate, but it shows how much could fall out of storms, especially if they train or roll over the same areas 1, 2, or 3 times. So that's something just to keep in the back of your mind. All right, 7-day forecast, and as I like to do, let's get me off of there so you can see the entire 7 days. So today, just that chance of rain the next couple hours this morning, and then Saturday we've got that first warn for the morning hours, 78, so not bad in the afternoon. Sunday, slight chance of some showers coming out of that one. It's a cold front coming down, and with that cold front coming down, there's not going to be a lot of moisture left over after Saturday's storm. So there's just not a lot to work with. And this is not a high resolution model, and that's why the rain looks a lot more impressive than it really is going to be. It's going to be much more isolated than that. Once that passes, how about some drier air? Lows in the 50s, highs near 80 with sunshine coming Monday, Tuesday. You can see the humidity returning Wednesday, and that'll set the stage for a 20% chance right now of showers Thursday. But again, today going to be gorgeous this afternoon, evening. Tomorrow, have a plan B, especially up until 1 o'clock. And then Sunday, just keep an eye out if a dark cloud comes your way. Pop out our app and see what it's doing, where it's going. And of course, we'll give you updates on all this activity as we head throughout the entire weekend. Have a good morning.